Hi, welcome to Texavi Mantras. I am Pardha Mantravadi from Texavi. Today, as we celebrate the World Usability Day, I wish to touch upon how we can think beyond usability and user experience and deliver unified experiences to our customers, users, and people at large. As part of today's presentation, let's try and look at what unified experience is all about, why we need to deliver unified experiences in the times that we're living today, and how businesses can deliver unified experiences. Let's try and look at who Texavi is before we really get into the details. Well, Texavi is a social and behavioral technology startup. We're into consulting, solutions, and training, and large part of our work involves dealing with customers, stakeholders, and users. And no wonder we've got a very good hand on the pulse of the customers in the market. We are partners with Microsoft, IBM, BlackBerry, and CITS. And as it all says, we've got a very smart and talented team working out of UK and India. As you have already seen the Texavi's interactions in the last few days, I thought it would be good to actually jump into the discussion proper, and that is unified experience. Well, if you really look at the traditional usability and traditional user experience models, most of the organizations do have the standard practices. Like for instance, you talk about doing a test marketing before you release a new product, or trying to do some kind of user studies to understand the needs of the customers and users. And then of course you also have the traditional practices of user profiling, personas, then creating wireframes, and of course usability testing to go back and evaluate your product by the users. So this by and large is pretty much kind of very standard practices followed by most of the organizations. But do you think that is really helpful in the days that we have today? Well, not very much, because we are living in an age of mobile, digital, and social, where things are really going very fast and changing at a rapid pace. So let's try and look at what unified experience is in the first place. Well, unified experience, as it says, is basically trying to deliver a uniform, consistent, and a seamless experience to not just users, but to customers, users, suppliers, stakeholders, and of course the followers, friends, and fans on the social and professional networks. So it essentially is trying to cut across different platforms, different channels, and different devices and networks to help deliver uniform experiences to one and all. Let's take a quick example of an everyday item. For instance, if you're looking to buy a watch, you've been playing a video game on your tablet and you've seen an advertisement that popped up about that watch. And then as you tend to watch your television, you've seen a 60-second commercial about that watch again. So you have decided to go ahead and buy that watch, and then what happened, you go to a store and you found that the store doesn't have a stock of that watch. So you come back and then you tend to buy that watch online. So you ultimately made the decision to buy and you purchase that product online. But the interactions and the kind of transactions that you try to do happen on different platforms, different channels, and different devices. So this is a kind of an example of how increasingly the experiences that you're trying to get as a customer, or even as a prospective customer, and then goes on to the sale and after sale. And I think that's the reason why you're seeing that the saying that you've got in-store, online, and mobile apps. So these are the kind of things that almost every retailer has been trying to do nowadays. Now coming back to the unified experience concept, you really need to deliver the experiences in different channels, and of course there's a tendency for businesses to first establish the connections with their target users, target audience. And then once the connections get established, you tend to engage with the people and then start building up the relationships. And in the process, you try and expect the people to have some kind of transactions performed with the businesses overall. So if you really look at this kind of a whole framework, you've got connections, conversations, engagement, and then you also have the commerce, productivity, and entertainment. And don't forget, today we've got the boundaries between work and play getting blurred day by day. So obviously you need to balance all these different facets so that you can have a relationship which is a long-lasting and a value delivering one, not just with your customers, not just with your users, but with an entire set of stakeholders in the ecosystem. So let's try and look at why we need to deliver unified experiences today. So as there is a song that you perhaps aware of, the times that are changing. So yeah, we are currently living in a very volatile environment. Things are changing really fast and rapid pace. So you've got digital, a mobile, an agile, and a social facets to everything. So we are constantly being exposed to changes happening on different dimensions in various spheres. So is it a wonder then that you're really looking at one specific segment, that is the users, or should we try and look at the overall impact that you can try and have across the spectrum? And also there's a reason for businesses to try and balance this with the traditional and the more mainstream channels and platforms. So as we were talking about the example about delivering the seamless experience across television, tablets, online, and in store. So there is a reason for businesses to be able to balance the way they interact, they reach out, engage, and influence the people across these different channels and platforms. So let's try and look at how this would help the users, and of course not just the users but also the customers in a larger perspective. One, when they are exposed to a consistent delivery that increases the predictability of the expectations. So experiences and expectations kind of match. So as the experiences that you get from a specific set of a supplier, you tend to build the expectations based on that. So there's a kind of a predictability set, and that would help smoothen out the relationship. And of course the other advantage that you have is that you can solve the problem of many. Now we've got, as we discussed, you've got tablets, you've got mobile phones, you've got televisions, and you've got smart TVs, and you've got a lot of websites, web applications, a whole lot of media that you have at your disposal. But it's an advantage, and at the same time there's also a disadvantage that there's a challenge that is posed by these many platforms, many devices, and that is the sizes are different, the kind of displays are different, the resolutions are different, and of course the content that you'd like to present needs to be customized and made suitable across these different platforms and devices. So the bottom line is that you would need to deliver experiences that are consistent, uniform, and seamless, that work similarly across these different set of platforms, devices, and channels. And that's where unified experience would actually help businesses. So let's try and look at how one can really deliver these experiences. And before that, we'll try and look at what is the set of impact, what's the kind of impact, and who are going to get impacted the most with unified experience. As we touched upon before, it's not merely about customers or users, it's about the followers, the friends, and the fans on the social networks, the suppliers, and the people who are indirectly getting impacted with these different products and services and offerings. So you tend to actually look beyond the users, beyond the traditional ways of looking at customers, and you really need to reach out to a larger set of audiences. And this could include the staff, for instance, as I say, the employees are the most important, or perhaps the first set of customers for any business. So they have to be included. And of course, you also need to include the followers and fans on the social networks of your business. So I mean, the influence starts right from that stage, and then of course, as you try and influence and engage them on at various levels, the kind of transactions that they tend to do, the interactions that they tend to do with you as a business would increase, and that reflects in a long-term relationship with the business. And let's try and look at how one can deliver these unified experiences. And as we already discussed, businesses always try and look at establishing connections and reaching out to the people that matter. So connections and establishing and these kind of relationships form the foundation for delivering the unified experience. And on the top of it, you try and influence and engage these people, and try and look at how the conversations can be nurtured and nourished, and how this engagement can result in a long-term relationship. That's very key for any business. And of course, not stopping there, you need to really try and look at how you can look at increasing the efficiencies and how you can make them more productive through your offerings. So that's another important thing, and people are driven by this need, because end of the day, everybody would like to do things quicker, easier, and of course, with minimal effort. And how businesses can help deliver these is very important again. And the next step is of course the business aspect of it, and the transactions aspect of it. You shouldn't really stop at the conversations or the content. It's all about how you can get the money out of the people's pockets, and that's very important for a business. So we need to really look at how unified experiences can impact and influence your customers, users, and the target audience to be able to perform the transactions, to be able to engage in some kind of transactions with the business. And that, I think, is the bottom line. Also, to do looking at the entertainment angle. I mean, nowadays we've got films, we've got music, the television, we've got all of these kind of overlapping with the work. So you really need to understand how you can leverage these various channels, these various media, to be able to also connect with the people and keep them engaged. So one needs to really look at how this entertainment factor can be considered to as part of delivering the experience. So I mean, we do have a kind of a framework that we call as Unified Experience Framework at Texavi, which we would use to to design, develop, and deliver these various experiences to our customers and the end users. So it starts with, as they say, of the users, for the users, and by the users. So let me try and explain what this means. So the first step in this process is to try and understand the users, and that is to know the needs of the user. So you tend to interact with the users, you reach out to them and try and understand what is it that they would need, and understanding these needs will actually help you in designing the products and developing the products better. So we go to the next step as to how this knowledge can be leveraged to design better products that suit the needs of these people. And of course, once we develop these products and offerings, we don't stop it there. We would need to go back to the users and try and understand if it is indeed what they're looking for, if it is matching to the needs of the user. So we tend to get these products and these offerings evaluated by the user. So you can get to see that we're closing the loop. We are kind of going back to the same set of people who we've interacted with before, and then try and ensure that the loop is getting closed by getting them into the the development process. So this pretty much is a kind of a simple yet very powerful set of steps that we have of the users, by the users, and for the users. But then you can see that, I mean, this is users is still used in that context, and we're not really talking about people, but that framework could pretty much be expanded to consider other sets of people and their influence. Of course, the influence of those people on your offering or your business could actually be either very great or very less compared to the kind of engagement they have. So we can consider these and then start delivering the experiences in a rather unified way. And so that's pretty much a kind of in a nutshell how we can deliver the unified experiences to the people at large. And just to kind of summarize as to what we've seen in the last, what we've kind of discussed in the last few minutes, we've kind of looked at how businesses can deliver experiences across different platforms, channels, and also the devices, and that these experiences have to be seamless, consistent, and uniform, cutting across the different channels. And of course, we also looked at how one can really look at engagement, influence, and understand the relationship aspects of these different people with the business, and how the businesses can leverage all of these to be able to deliver offerings that can provide the impact and be successful. So thank you very much for listening to this particular topic that we've had today, and I hope it really helped you to understand how we can think beyond just usability or user experience, and try and think in terms of delivering experiences on a broader basis and on a more consistent and more seamless fashion. So once again, a very happy World Usability Day, and I think there's a days that we need to try and look at how we can improve the world as a better place to live together. Thank you very much. Have fun. Bye.